It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful, what day is it?
Thursday. I got Thursday right. It is so not beautiful here. Although it is quite beautiful inside our studio.
It is pouring cats and dogs outside.
Buckets and buckets and cats and dogs.
And it's going to be raining. We're going to get a breakout Saturday for a little bit. And then it's going to rain until Thursday. Okay. Have you seen the floods? There are people walking in knee-high boots and it's really close to the knee.
Hence the name knee-high boots.
Yes. Now, do you wear knee-highs?
Is that like a trick question?
Do you wear knee-highs when the water goes over your knees?
I don't wear knee-high anything. They make knee-high pantyhose. They make knee-high socks. Are your socks knee-high?
Yes.
There you go.
I got thigh-high.
Although I have to tell you, if you're talking boots, thigh-high boots, we've got a friend who wears the sexiest thigh-high boots. But
Faith
you're talking
Washington.
about, yeah, you even know what I'm talking about. You're talking about knee-high rubbers, knee-high boots.
I don't understand how some women wear short shorts
and knee-high boots.
And knee-high boots.
But you noticed, didn't you?
Yeah, because I was
and that would be how they wear them.
But I was saying, boy, look at the thighs on that woman.
Looking good, right?
Sometimes. Mm-hmm. There are those that can and those that shouldn't.
I got to tell you, happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to our afternoon. It's a little bit rainy outside, but it is quite lovely inside our studio. A lot of new things happened in the morning between our morning show and now. We had some new artists call us and some new ideas about revamping the studio, which I'm excited about doing that. Some things that are changing, and God always works in mysterious ways, which is always, you know
mysterious.
What? If you just hold on to that hope, it really does happen. Nice show you put forward this morning, a nice conversation. We had Kenny Love joining us from the Florida Love Show.
I asked a very serious question. I wanted to know, and the crew came in here and they educated me a little bit, and I have a new perspective, and you know something, it's been on my mind, and check out the show, and I want to thank all of them for doing it. And you kept Teddy away from me because she probably would have beat me up, and you know.
No, you just admitted that you didn't know, you didn't understand. That's why I kept saying to you, explain this to me and explain that to me, and what do you mean by that? And sometimes I'm just at a loss for words because I can't even wrap my head around the situation. But I have to, and I always do, commend our crew. And again, we had a crew meeting this morning, and they are incredibly logical and bright, young, informed adults. And I sit back and I go, wow, all of them. And they bring it over and over again. And they think things through, they do what they have to do, and they continue to keep rolling and going. So you know what, guys? Thank you for being who you are and supporting our vision and our mission and doing what they do.
The funniest thing was watching Slick got to put the music on today.
And I said, what is this?
Well, no, you said that, but the funny thing was that my cousin Vinny was like, yo, put this and put that. And the two of them are having this conversation about old school, new school with rap. I didn't know there was an old school, new school. I thought it was all the same school.
I think it's evolved. You know, one of you guys should do a piece on the evolution of rap music. Because I think it started one way, and I think it's different now.
Yeah, but rap music has always had a message, is what I'm learning.
But doesn't everything have a message?
No, but the nice thing is that Slick goes, let me get the clean version. He said, let me get the clean version. Because some of that version is a little bit... But it takes away the effect, right?
Yeah, some people get distorted on what they say, but that's not their actual underlying message.
Well, I don't know. Did you get in touch with Mama Ali? She's looking for you.
Did not get in touch with
So try calling her again. I have a feeling that she was so
may
impressed.
have the wrong phone number.
Yeah, I have the wrong phone number.
Oh, is
I'll
that what
send
it is?
you,
I'll send you the right one.
We'll send you the right one.
She was so impressed with something that you did. Oh, I know what it was. It was the
It was
march.
the piece that she did. You know what? You can also find her on Facebook Messenger. Khalila Ali.
Yes.
Khalila Ali.
Yes, but if not, I'll text you the correct number in a second. But she was so impressed with the work you did in the march down in Fort Lauderdale. I think she has something she wants you to do with her, and it's tonight, so we got to get in touch with her right away.
And I've been working on some proposals in Spanish. I'm going to be sending them out to our translator because that's what I worked on for an hour between the shows today. I got so frustrated because I don't speak Spanish. Imagine
But
writing
we
a
have
proposal
a
in
Spanish
Spanish.
department.
I closed it and I am going to send it to him after
But
the
I told
show.
you to do that an hour
I was
ago.
trying and it didn't quite work out that way, but I'm going to send it over to him. And he said anything he can do. So we've got our Spanish department. He said, we're Spain now. He said anything he can do to help. So we're
And
going
it's
to be doing
funny
that.
because he did it in like an hour.
He did it in like 5 minutes.
I know, and you're still lost in the woods.
Pretty much so.
Just saying.
Just telling you, people that are bilingual are truly remarkable. On today's show, we have Janine Davis and Jay Farrow, a Farrow law firm, joining us on the 12 o'clock hour. 1 o'clock, we have Commissioner Robert Weinroth, Palm Beach County Commissioner of District 4, and our County Vice Mayor is joining us on the 1 o'clock hour to talk about all things happening in our community in Boca. A lot of good things are happening. We're going to try and stick with the information, share it with you out, educate what's happening with that. And then we've got Maria Acuna from Forward Thinking joining us. Again, the mindset of what all of this is. And I'm as guilty as anybody. I fall into this pit, this hole of spiraling sometimes.
Where are you
Just happens.
spiraling?
Spiraling, not in a good place.
But where are you spiraling?
Into the negative abyss.
Why negative?
That
What's so
abyss.
negative? What's going
Because
on?
you think about what it is, and I've got my house has this, and this has this, and the studio is this. But ultimately, at the end of the day, everyone is safe, and everybody is good, and everyone is doing what they need to be doing. School is officially over in Broward and Palm Beach County. So where is that bell? Ding, 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 to all the students and teachers that are now on summer vacation.
You're funny.
It's a little anticlimactic, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to, being that you brought it up, can I elaborate on the worries?
Sure.
Okay. There's a piece that Double R put together we're going to show. I wanted to talk about, we did have a problem before all of these other problems, but we did have a problem with the virus. Mm-hmm. And my question is, and people can call in, we'll put the number up, you can call in and tell us how you feel. Marching and everything else, a lot of people didn't have masks or nothing. And I noticed that I have been informed that there is a spike now, again.
As we knew.
Well, we knew that there was going to be a spike, was the rumor, but now it's happening among those that are marching are getting sick.
It's happening worldwide. It's
But
not just
are we talking
happening
about
here.
the second wave, or are we talking about because of the march?
I don't think the first wave ever ended. I think this is a continuation, so you can call it second because everyone came out of quarantine. But in Israel, I was told yesterday they reopened schools and 51 schools had to be closed down. So you can't even just say it's the march. It's about reopening the world. And I think that's what's happening.
So you think that the increase, the spike that's going on, has to do with
People being exposed
people
to each
just
other.
being exposed, has nothing to do with people marching or protesting, has nothing to do with that?
I think, well, they're being exposed to each other in a protest. Children are being exposed to each other in schools. People are being exposed in nursing homes. I mean,
You think it's too early?
I can't say. I think, well, here's the thing. What's too early? That people get sick?
Well-
People get sick. The death rate has decreased. So what are we looking at? And I don't know.
Valerie, run the piece that Double R did on the graphic. There's a graph that we put together to show how is beginning to spike again. So she puts it up there, we'll be able to see it. I don't know if it's too early, or I don't know if the first part finished, and I don't think it's ever going to end. It's one of the things that we talked about.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't know, and I've been looking at the CDC guidelines, and I've been looking at these things that say with businesses and nursing homes, and businesses, I don't think they're going to shut everything down again, because I don't think the state of our nation can afford being shut down again. But I also don't think the virus is going to stop. I think it's a matter of being careful and hand washing, and people surviving the virus is what it is. If the death rate stays down, viruses are viruses, and people get sick, but How is your immune system? Is it strong? We talk about this all the time, about strengthening your immune system, about sleeping and eating right and taking your supplements, cleanliness, washing your hands during the day, wearing masks, doing all those preventative things. Is it guaranteed that no one's going to get it? No, it's not.
Well, let me then add a wrinkle to this whole logic.
Because I need another wrinkle in my day.
Yes, you need another wrinkle in your day. So suppose you open and everything's going well and you're taking all the precautions and people are slowly starting to come in. You got to just run it out, just play it out. And people start coming in and somebody gets sick.
Which is
And
inevitable.
this is the chart. This is by Double R. He's showing that the red zone is where the hot spots are beginning to grow again. And you see where Florida is still light red, but you see New York again, you see California again. Does that run, or is that it? That's
So
it?
I'm looking, it's confirmed cases, recovered, and deaths. I don't, okay. I'm trying to look at what all the numbers are showing us here.
And but the
So
zones.
this is outdated. This is in March.
Is it?
So, yeah. So whatever information is, we need timely information, gang. This is as of March 18th, which is not what we need to be looking at right now.
So this is when it was happening.
This is when the initial wave was happening, yes.
Okay, so that
Way back in the
I'd like to know if we can
This
get
was
some.
March, so we need to compare that to where we are now on June
We
4th.
need an updated chart, but that's the way it looked back then. The whole country got even more red.
Yep.
Now I saw another graph where they put dots about second waves and things, and the Midwest is really where the dots got heaviest. And then I have some other questions. People go away, people are going to New York City, or picking up family members from New York City or California, everything else.
Or going to the beach. I mean,
No, forget about the beach. That's too simple. I'm talking about people that come to visit and they don't fly. They think they're driving. Like if my sister came to visit me in a car down from New York City, because now you can get in. How do you treat that? Do you say, okay, you were in the zone, I got to put you where the dog sleeps outside for 2 weeks? I mean, how do you?
I don't know.
What's the proper way of treating this stuff?
I don't know. I think all you can do is take precautions.
And what does it do to your mindset? Which is the reason I'm bringing this whole thing up anyway.
It's a whole nother level of what this is.
How do you approach life? Are you afraid? Do you take chances? Do you not take chances? What's the deal?
It's in my opinion, you take smart chances. It is not a chance. You take precautions. You be smart. We can't live in a vacuum. Life has to continue. We have to go on, but we have decided that everyone in here, when they're not on air, will be wearing masks and continue to wear masks and continue to clean things and hand wash and do all the things that we do. They're getting some more disinfectant because we've gone through so much of it. My throat thanks you that we've used it all up and not using it right now. We have some other things in studio, but things that we need to get done.
If anybody has any disinfectant to sell, please give us a call. What's the number?
888-994-4995. We're actually putting a new phone line in our network studio, which I'm excited about doing.
I know.
Tonight we have our first evening show in there since February, I think. We haven't had a night show in there through Aunt Media Production since I think we had your Celebration of Life. Might have been the last evening show we did here.
You know, it's funny. We got that system in there. Teddy, did it come with a phone number?
I have no idea what the phone number is.
I think we had to call.
We have to call and find out. I don't think it was on the piece of paper either.
It's not. It has to be. Where
I
is
think I
it?
put the paper in the box, so maybe they'll look at that and see.
It has to. We got the no-name phone number, so we want you to call blank, 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 blank.
But you can call our studio at 888-994-4995. The number is on the screen. See what's happening. But I went out with a friend yesterday, and you realize.
And there you have it. And there you go,
I have
Dawn.
a friend. Yes, I have one. But where we went, neither one of us had been to a restaurant.
Did you wear a mask when you met?
I did not go inside. No, we did not. We sat outside at opposite sides of a very large table. We sat down. She was a little concerned about even touching the menu, so she went and she got her bleach wipes. She wiped down the menus, and then she looked at the table and said, "This isn't good enough either." And then she continued to clean the table with her bleach wipes.
But she ate something?
No, we did not eat. It was 5:30. I had just had lunch here, so it wasn't that I didn't want to eat at the restaurant. I wasn't hungry. We ate lunch here. What,
Would
4
you have
o'clock?
eaten?
100%.
So you're cleaning the menus, but you're going to eat food with did you bring your own fork, plate, and knife?
No, they had those there also.
So why would you?
So why would I clean the table? She felt compelled to clean the table. But I'm sure they took all their precautions. Everyone had masks on, everyone had gloves on, and we sat outside and we had a cup of coffee, and at 7 o'clock we were still sitting there. We could, by that point it was dinner time, but we didn't. But you realize that there are a lot of people that have not still returned to work, but yet they go to the grocery store, they go out to get what they need to get, they go to the mall, but then they're afraid to go to restaurants. So everyone does what's in their own level of comfort.
Yeah, but it has to make a little sense.
Who's to say what one person sense?
Now, let me ask you a question. I saw people criticizing me because I have worn my mask in the car. Make sense?
What, that they're criticizing you?
No. Does it make sense for you to wear your mask inside your car?
Again, it's all open to opinion. The other thing is, masks are
no.
supposed to be disposable. I
He
wear
says
mine
no.
over and over again.
He says it doesn't make any sense to do that. But I got a question for you. If I'm going to pick you up or somebody else up, should I wear the mask in the car?
Yes.
I should wear the mask. So why is somebody criticizing me? They don't know if I'm going to go pick somebody up.
They don't know. But
You know what they told me? That's why Pop-Tarts has instructions. Really?
that had to have been your son.
Yeah. Says, Dad, that's why Pop-Tarts comes with instructions. With your Pop-Tart, you put it in your toaster.
Apparently, masks doesn't come with instructions. Neither does having a baby, for that matter. So,
But think about it. I told him, you don't know where I'm going. You don't know if I'm picking somebody up. Also, when you pick somebody up, do they sit next to you with no mask?
I have not had anyone else in my car other than people that I
Slick,
live
you
with.
ever have anybody in your car?
I make sure I have a mask for myself. I used to have like a mask, and a friend took it, but
You had
it
a
was
friend
in a
mask in
plastic.
your
It was
car?
in a plastic bag, but I kept masks that my
In your car?
mom threw at me.
I have it in my car. I got
People
two in
that-
the trunk. I have a friend mask. You know what a friend mask is?
To give to a friend in your car.
They've never been worn. They're in the trunk of my car. So let's say that I got to go pick up Slick. He has a flat tire, and I got to go get him. And he don't have a mask. I give him one of the friend masks, and you get what? You can keep it. One of the kids came in here, Dina,
Yep.
and she didn't have a mask, and we gave her a mask. And then I have my N95 on the side.
There are people that don't have masks. There are people that don't feel like they want to wear them.
And so they put on their shirts around their face.
There are people that choose not to do anything.
The funniest thing, I told my son, he put his shirt around his face. I said, when's the last time you washed that shirt? He says, I haven't. I said, that's a
And then it's
problem.
the cleanliness of the mask. I mean, there's a whole level of all kinds of things going on, is all I can tell you.
But what do you do when you have somebody in your car sitting next to you with no mask? Do you give them a mask? Do you put them in the back seat while you drive in the front?
There's so many unanswered questions. There's so many things. And yet I think that you and I have been logical about this, and we've had conversations about it, and things have calmed down, and then new concerns come up, and you know, we're right back in the beginning where we started. And I think, have we learned, or do we still fall victim to
First
the
of all,
conversation?
let me correct something. You said you, logical, and I.
Illogical? Not so much? Because you know what? I worry about a lot of people. I just don't worry about me. You just don't worry about you. We
can't.
collectively worry about a lot of people in here. So that takes it to a whole nother level of back to responsibility that we talked about this morning. You have more responsibility. As a business owner, you have more responsibility. As a parent, you've got the responsibility of our children, right? So this is an extension of our children, and then who comes in? There's the responsibility of that. So maybe it's we stay remote on calls.
Well, this is one of the things that I want to talk to Jay and Janine about, because it's the psychology behind what's going on. So when people come in here, they always ask, do you wear a mask? Do you want me to wear a mask or not? Answer now is going to be, yeah, I really would, because I do see the spikes. I don't know who you've been around. And people always say, no, I've been good. Nobody ever tells you, no, I've been around this person who was really sick. Nobody says that.
I know. So why don't we take a quick commercial break, thank our sponsors. This segment brought to you by Gubba Rum. It is, as we say in Boston, as if I would even know, it's wicked smooth. Let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got Janine Davis and Jay Farrow of Farrow Law Firm joining us on the call. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Welcome to your vacation staycation. And what better way to kick back than to blend up a sweet pina colada, a smooth mojito, or just a nice stiff rum and coke? If you want true relaxation and enjoyment, then you want Gubba Rum. Gubba Rum is a unique rum infusion. Gubba Silver Rum is infused with real shredded coconut, and Gubba Rum Gold is infused with real shredded vanilla bean. Both are made with certified organic ingredients. Each infused Gubba Rum is 35% ABV, 70 proof, and as we say in Boston, wicked smooth. So if you're looking for the best combination of taste, smoothness, quality, and price, your clear choice is Gubba Rum. If you want that wicked smooth taste for yourself or your vacation, staycation, visit GubbaRum.com to find your closest liquor store that carries Gubba Rum Gold and Gubba Rum Silver. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
The benefits of CBD are well known, but not all CBD is equal. At your CBD store, our award-winning products are made from organic industrial hemp. Your CBD store products are third-party tested for purity, and we offer a wide variety of products to meet your needs and preferences. From water solubles, topical creams, and oil drops to pet products. Visit your CBD store and let our knowledgeable staff guide you. Your CBD store.
Dutch Designs and Events is a unique business providing an extensive range of beautiful floral arrangements. They have the power to bring your event or special occasion to life. Dutch Designs are available for any event or to open your business with a smile. All flowers are grown with organic compounds that enhance their fragrance and beauty. Call Dutch Designs at 561-419-8126 or visit their website at DutchDesignsEventPlanning.com. Again, call Dutch Designs at 561-419-8126.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we are back at the Brooklyn Cafe on a rainy Thursday in South Florida. It is definitely summer here when you know the rains are coming in the afternoon. However, lately it seems to be raining in the morning and the afternoon.
We have a tropical something going on.
We do actually in the Gulf Coast.
In the
So
Gulf
it is
Coast,
our
yeah.
third named storm, Cristobal.
Has it turned into the storm
I
yet?
think so, Cristobal. Cristobal.
Gotta bring in Linda Summers so she can, maybe I'm thinking of
Your green screen, I know.
hanging a green screen over there.
We'll take over with that. I think we've got Janine Davis joining us, and I'm hoping Jay is joining us on the line as well. And there they are. Hey, guys.
We caught Janine eating.
We got Janine mid-bite. How are you guys
Darn
doing?
it.
You look terrific.
Anyway,
We miss
it's
you.
true. Oh my God, Janine eats. Woo! Shocking. Stop the presses.
How's everything going? Farrell Law from How Are You All Doing?
We're
We're
good.
doing well, I would say. In the thick of a lot of really interesting things, giving us, creating a whole new perspective on what's going on in the world that we're seeing firsthand in litigation. So, but I want to start by saying that it's very, very nice to see you guys. And I'm glad that both of you are well. And it was interesting what you guys were talking about before the commercial, but I want Jay, of course, to say a few words as well.
I
It's
do
nice
miss you
to
guys
see
up
you.
here.
It's nice to see you. We'll be back up there soon enough. We have seemingly weathered one storm, and now it seems like everybody's waking up at the same time to start litigation back up. So it's been a busy couple of weeks.
What's going on in litigation and courthouses and in the legal world?
Well, the courthouses are still technically closed. They have limited hearings. There's no jury trials. There's no in-person trials. So all of the larger hearings are either being held by Zoom or being continued. But that said, there's been some limited openings of the courthouses for clerk activities and It looks like sometime in July they're going to start two things. One is opening up the courthouses a little bit more, and the other thing is figuring out a new pilot program for jury trials. So, I mean, since this indefinite cancellation of jury trials has backed things up, they're going to try something new, which we'll see how it works. But the cases have started to move forward. I think that lawyers have gone back to their offices. I've gone back to my office 3 times a week, and I think with that is that all these cases that have been sitting for a while have to get moving, and the lawyers that bill by the hour need to start making money again. I have heard, though, some of my colleagues being furloughed, some have been laid off, some have permanently lost their jobs through the last 3 months. So it's all of a sudden very, very busy for us.
As attorneys are losing their jobs as well?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Corporate counsel from large corporations are losing their jobs, all kinds of different things. Whether it's warranted or not, you've got large corporations looking to mitigate their losses. And the first place they always look is human resources, unfortunately. And we know of lawyers who've been let go. Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm hearing coming down about some of the jury trials is that you talk about doing it via Zoom, but then you don't have jury by your peers because, again, we're limited to those that have internet perhaps and those that don't, right? It's the haves and the have-nots again. So maybe only those that can be chosen for jury trial are those that have access to equipment, have access to the Ethernet, which precludes, just like in schools, like the kids can't get services, a pool of our sampling of our community. Plus, how do you bring everybody in to jury duty?
Well,
how do you section them? And then where do you put them? So many things are happening.
Interestingly enough, the COVID crisis now that's morphed into this George Floyd uprisings and protests and people that have been disenfranchised for so long using their voice. There's something happening in tandem here that we're noticing, is that it's time for the people that have been bullied, have been oppressed, to use their voice. And we have gotten some new cases in the last couple of weeks. Some cases that we had gone to mediation did not settle because the bullies on the other side decided, hey, we own the power, we own the money, and therefore we can do whatever we want. And I'm writing this into one of my responses today, that in one case in particular where lawyers have actually taken the unusual step of suing us, the lawyers, for doing our job. It's as if that, there's a lot of people that have proverbially put their knee on the necks of those who otherwise didn't have a voice. And now those people are starting to speak up around the country, and it's really creating a conversation here with these back-to-back circumstances in the law, as to, like, now people are ready to use their voice. And we're just noticing that over the course of the last couple of months, the people that called into our law firm for help about their mortgages, from their landlords, about their employers that were abusing them. I mean, we have gotten, and the conversation is, how do I use my voice? If I was to sum them all up into one greater conversation, is how do I use my voice in this circumstance? And then when this thing came with the unfortunate circumstance in this thing with Mr. Floyd, it's like, now I'm ready to use my voice, and that's what we're here for. It's been an amazing transformation of this country in the last 4 months, and now what we're seeing is this. And the energy is unmistakable. It's like we're ready to use our voice, and I think it was created when there was so much uncertainty in the law, when courthouses did close down, when some people lost their jobs. How do I make my mortgage payment? Or when do I go back to work? My kids are out of school, and it was all of this uncertainty when, at the same time, and people have reached out. I know that they reached out to your show as well, asking all these questions. And it's an amazing time to be an American. I'll say that.
And Jeannie, as a coach, what are you seeing with some of your clients?
Well, I would say the same thing. There's sort of an uncertainty, but I feel that overall, whether in business or in coaching and what's going on in the world in general, is sort of a rise up against the status quo. And that process can look very, very messy for a time, and it has, I think, COVID sort of opened the gateways to for us to understand our kind of how incredibly connected we are, and also to see to shed light on our vulnerabilities, and also to shed light on a number of other things. Really, who are the heroes in our society? Is it the baseball player? God bless them, or is it someone who saves lives for a living? And that is not only doctors, it's nurses, it's EMTs, it's police officers, it's everybody in the front lines that we sort of take for granted, and even the truck drivers who truck in our food from all over the country. These are the real heroes. So it kind of puts a lot of different things into perspective. But there is a call to justice. There's an intolerance going around, for lack of a better word, lies and deceit. People want truth, and they're seeking truth. And we're seeing that very much in our law firm as well. We see the darker element at play with people trying to get away with proverbial murder, not literally in our case, but, for lack of a better term. And we see the underpinnings of that going in a different direction. And again, it all looks a little messy. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. I know my coaching clients have been really going through it. They've had a lot of ups and downs in the last several months, but people are all seeking to make sense of things, to find the silver lining, to find the redeeming value in all of this for themselves and their communities. And I see that very much in the law as well. People doing ill deeds, trying to continue the same, and they're bumping up against truth seekers and people who have the courage to say, you know what, no more.
Well, I wanna ask you a question, because you made a comment that people are seeking truth. And in our society, it becomes very vague what is truth. That there is a problem and the system is broken, I understand. In the morning show, we were talking about Bree and his comments and how people are reacting to his comments. We were talking about a couple of incidents that occurred, and Slick, one of our producers in here, he made it really clear to me to understand that timing is everything. You can say the same thing 10 years ago that you can't say today, because timing is everything. So my question here is, people have an opinion of what they think the truth is, and then you have somebody else who has what they think the truth is. I think the problem is that nobody seems to communicate with one another anymore. Nobody wants to listen. Everybody wants to talk at the same time. We talked about this when this thing started. You're gonna see 1,000 people want to run through that door when only one person fits. And everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to be justified. So psychologically, I want to get back to the psychological aspect of how we're living every day. How do you manage every day situations around you, others around you? How is it? I mean, not the whole world can be right and the whole world can be wrong, but how do you work it out psychologically to make sense and function?
Well, I think sorry, Jay, I'll start, but I'm looking forward to your thoughts on this as well. For me, it is seeking clarity. You point to something really interesting about the different variations of truth. Okay. That is a much broader question, really. I think that we could do an entire show on that, because it has a lot to do with perspectives. But I think that we're talking about the higher truth, like, this belongs to me, you took it, and I didn't give you permission to take it, so that means that I either like it back or you can pay me back for it, and that's the truth. Now, those are more black and white kind of things. Then you have the truth of, again, different perspectives. It's a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I think that we can all agree that there are certain truths that we can uphold and all agree on. The sky is blue, the sun is hot when it blazes on you, certain things like that, universal truth. And I think that that's really what I'm talking about. People want honesty, transparency, and fairness, and they want justice. And yes, within all of those things, there's going to be shades of what that looks like. But I think that that's what people are crying out for. On a psychological basis, on the everyday, I would say that it takes a step of getting clear with what you're willing to live with and what you are not willing to live with. Clarity, individual clarity for yourself, your rules that govern you and your life are step one. And with that, you go out as a member of your community and society, and then you start communing with others to make sense of that together. But I think a lot of the chaos that we experience right now is that people are not clear. And I think a lot of the overall anxiety is because people are desiring clarity and don't know how to achieve it yet. But we're on our way. And when you have any social movement or any change in the midst, you will have this extremely messy phase of getting there. You yourself just said 10 years ago, we couldn't speak about a lot of the things that we are speaking about today. That happened gradually over people creating the space, making agreements amongst our society in order to open the space to talk about things that were taboo 10 years ago.
And in the legal realm, within Farrow Law Firm, what are you seeing as trends coming forward now that people need to work with you for?
Well, the trend is going back to what Janine just said. You took something from me. I didn't give you permission to take it, and the law says I should have it back. I mean, whether that's commissions that weren't paid for on an employment deal, whether that's somebody uses somebody else's property and doesn't pay for it. Here's another truth that the other side would say, and because we represent the people using their voice against the corporate bullies. And the truth of the bully is they have a bunch of money. Truth of the bully is they have a bunch of power. Truth is usually money and power equal that might makes right. What we're saying is not so fast. The truth is you took something that didn't belong to you, and I don't care how much money or power you have, the courthouse door swings more than one way, period. And so what we're doing with our clients is that using your voice in now arenas that were unheard of 25 years ago. We're learning because we've been, one of the things that's happened, Dawn, is that in 2 of our cases where we're representing our clients to seek truth for things that were taken that weren't allowed to be taken, and actually it's more than that, it's in 5 of our cases, we have been sued personally for tortious interference and defamation. So the bullies are using their lawyers as the hitmen, so to speak, because they can. But what we have, the most powerful thing that we have, is that this is all in the public. And thank God that everything that we're doing is a matter of public record because we're able to speak about it. And now after spending 2 months of researching the error of the bully's thought process about suing us for having the guts to prosecute claims against them, we're learning how to use the power of our voice through the court system, through social media, and we are gearing up for what can only be described as the next version of being able to use your voice to stand up to bullies.
It's interesting. Jay always has a way with words, Janine. He always has a way with words. And he talks about the proverbial knee on your throat to take your voice away. I mean, how he puts into words like he does, but you're right, metaphorically, what is this? Not only physically, but metaphorically. We talked about this morning, is that people were stuck inside and they had no way to express themselves. So they go out on social media and that's getting censored. You run out of ways to express your voice, and you try and do it legally, and you try and do it within the realms of what's right and ethical, but if that doesn't get heard, then some people feel they need to make a little bit more noise, and that's where the conflict comes into be, in my opinion.
Well, conflict, we were talking about it this morning with the kneeling with
Drew Brees?
No, with
Kaepernick?
When it started there. But it goes, listen, this has been around since Rodney King. It was wrong back then.
Yeah.
I remember the riots back then. I saw what was going on back then. I didn't want to go to school. I was young. I didn't want to go anywhere because I didn't know what was going to happen here. But injustice comes in many different levels. The thing that we talked about this morning is how you talk about it becomes now super sensitive. Now, you guys have been on radio, so you are a step above other people on just social media.
Well, you see, I hate to talk numbers and ratings, but their show last week, the Momentum Mindset show, and I don't have the raw numbers you do, I can only see the views. Holy cow, you guys. Your message is so freaking powerful. I mean, just what I saw, and I know there's a factor and you see all of it. If you take a look at them, unbelievable. So your message is so powerful in what you're doing. And I can only hope that it's translating into what's right. Now, the good and the bad is I think you're helping people so much that maybe they're working on their cases and not hiring the Farrell Law Firm. However, it's twofold, right? There's the ethical side of what we do of helping people and giving an extension, and then there's that which we have to intervene on the legal side.
Well, there's also the factor that you look at Farrell Law Firm and they're on the air, and I got a problem, and do I pick up that phone and call them? Do I say, listen, I got a problem? Because, you see, you guys got caught in what I call the Koch syndrome. Do you remember Mayor Koch in New York City?
Yes.
Mayor Koch was the best mayor for New York at the time. So he tried to run for governor. He lost miserably because they didn't want him to be governor. They wanted him staying as the mayor. So you guys you had the momentum mindset, and then you had the verdict, and all of a sudden there was power and there was mindset power, and
it's
people
huge.
were like, and I would say, man, do I call Jay and say, I got a small problem, can you help me? I don't know, because again, you're delivering on a different platform and you have to sort of talk a different way. We talked about this.
We talk about a lot of
Yeah,
things.
we have thought about that a lot, about what is our message to the world, and more than ever, Freddie and Donnie, we're going to have a conversation with you hopefully in the next couple of days about all of this, where we see ourselves. It's kind of exciting, the conversation. It's not kind of, it's exciting, the conversations that Janine and I have had to where the direction we're going to take all this. Because for now, we see ourselves truly as the facilitators to a voice. And we're like an amplifier and a microphone to those who have been oppressed. And I did use that analogy, Dawn, and I know it's a heavy analogy, but everybody can connect. The reason why I think this happening with George Floyd was so powerful, because everybody can connect with what that feels like to be strangled at some point of their life. Everybody, I think, knows the story of being bullied, even bullies. And the thing about what we're doing right now is giving a voice to the people that can't breathe. And I think this is why it resonates throughout the country. I think that's why people are out in the streets. And this is where we find ourselves in all of this. And having done this now for many years, but really for the last 2 years, where Janine and I have focused on supporting people to find their voice, and especially when it's been, you took something from me, you weren't allowed to take it, and it belongs to me. It's that truth, and then it's the other truth of what power and money can do to a person saying, hey, I want that back. And so what we have thought about for the last couple of days, and I think Janine's been in communication with you, is how do we online and in our messaging bring this to the world in such a way that's powerful, it's direct, and it has the maximum amount of impact. So we certainly have some ideas on that going forward. We look forward to talking with you about that in the next couple of days.
It's interesting because we got to produce The Verdict. And your one show, you had that gentleman at the radio station. It was a black gentleman. He was an attorney. You guys were talking about bullying and everything else. And you and him were together, and Janine was on the opposite side. That one show that went on Roku and Amazon, I have never been able to catch it. That show
talks about that every day.
It has over 68,000 households, that one show. And I can never catch that number. I've done production over 5,000 shows in my career. And I look at that and I still say to myself, my goodness, it's like 69,000. I don't know how many people that represents. That could be hundreds of thousands of people if you multiply the factor in a house who are watching the show, and they continue to watch it. But it goes to show you, when you came out with this thing, you took everybody, good or bad, because I'm looking at Janine, and good or bad, they either agree or don't agree, I get it. They listen. Because what you were talking about wasn't spoken. It was the quiet truth. And here we go again. And that's the feel I have going on right now, is exactly what you're taking something away from me that you don't have no permission to do. How long has this been going on that nobody wanted to talk about it?
Forever. And I think that this is something that Jay and I are really committed to. We spoke this morning about vision and long-term vision. And for me, I personally, as a woman, person, human being, I need to be vision driven. The day in, day out doesn't do it for me. The pedantic going through the motions does not do it for me. It doesn't like me, it doesn't do it really for anybody. I recognize I'm in touch enough with myself that it does, and I need to have a vision of something greater that is at play. And part of what we discussed is this very thing. Taking a stand, taking the risk to talk about and do things that other people have not done before us, and employing that courage to truly make a difference, because we see that we can. And we're willing to put ourselves out there to the extent that we know it's of service to ourselves, certainly, our clients, and really changing the conversation about what justice is in this country and in the world. And we are very committed to that messaging because it really matters. And we're seeing it everywhere. People are fed up with same old, same old.
That's just a good point. Same old, same old.
And how do we have change? How do we find our voice and evoke the change? How do we make a difference and move forward instead of backward or stagnant? People will have rights, and what do we do? How do we change that?
Well, it's funny because the first day that I met Jay and Janine, and we were at the NN Studios, and I heard what he wanted to do, I almost threw myself out the window. I said, really? I said, boy, this is going to be different. That whole thing was like, and it's funny because I have attorneys in my family, and I went to them for the next 3 or 4 days, and they all look at me and says, either he's insane or you're insane, because it was a different deal. But different doesn't make you bad. I used to tell my ball players, you can bunt when you least expect it, get away with it, and you're a hero. So different isn't bad. What's bad is that it doesn't work and we don't make it different.
Well, so
Freddie,
let's talk about...
you asked me if I was going to carry around a baseball bat.
I remember. I have one to show you. Remember?
And Freddie, you know what happened? People came after us. We were just sued personally. The law firm were sued personally. Lawyers that I work with have been sued personally for prosecuting these claims. And in one of the lawsuits, all of these YouTube videos and things like that are cited in a lawsuit. But the thing is that I have a way through to talk about this stuff, and we're going to continue to do it. But it just took us we took what it took to get to where we're at. But we're not afraid. And I think the first thing, Dawn, the first thing that makes change happen is believing that it's possible. And when you see some people that are doing it, and you see some people that are talking about it, and you see some people taking risks, Dean and I, because we have been through the ringer for the last 3 years. When you see people actually doing it and walking through it, it becomes possible for somebody else. And anybody that's watching this show that's thinking about a legal claim or something like that, or anything else in their life that they're afraid of because there's a bully on the other side, have faith and believe that it's possible to make the change, to use your voice. And that's what we're committed to. And I think that what Janine and I have come up with in the last couple of days is going to be really, really exciting.
We're going to find more about that tomorrow.
It's so interesting because, if you think about the trajectory of time, as we're talking, I'm thinking about Netflix canceled their CD or DVD mailing service. And they told the world, we're going to cancel these and we're going to go all to streaming. Everyone was like, what? This company's going to tank. They're gambling on something that has never been seen before. They're going to lose it. Well, they're laughing all the way to the bank. Not one of us are watching DVDs anymore.
It's true.
And we're streaming all of our content. So it takes people to kind of interrupt and be intentional about the path that they see open to them and to others for a different way and to forge the way ahead. So we're not saying it's easy, but we are saying it is possible, and we're going to continue to talk about it and encourage people to do the same.
Well, it's interesting because when I started streaming, people laughed at me. Major League Baseball threw me out of their office. Everybody laughed. This is going back 10 years. Before Facebook, before anybody. But when I met you guys, I said, you know what? Here I go again. Because you're right. And what you're talking about is right. And sometimes the noise you got to make has to be intensified for people to hear it. I get it. I understand where you're coming from.
And they walk the walk. And every time I have to have those conversations, you guys always come in my mind. You have to have those uncomfortable conversations. And there are times I say to him, I'm sick to my stomach that I have to have this conversation. And sure enough, I have to have it. And we keep rolling.
Yeah.
We're going to tune in tomorrow night to Momentum Mindset Show with Jay Farrow and Janine Davis. 6
We look
o'clock.
forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for having us on with you.
Can't wait till tomorrow.
It's an honor, and we really appreciate your support and what you're doing to, further the conversation as well.
Going to continue this conversation. Tell people how they can reach you all.
Jay.
They can reach us at 954-252-9818. At the Momentum Mindset Show, if they're looking more for coaching and inspiration, and farrowlawfirm.com.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We've worked with Jay and Janine for so many years, and their message continues to grow.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Message
guys.
continues to grow, and they
Thank
always
you.
walk the walk, and those uncomfortable conversations, and I get that pit in the bottom of my stomach, but sometimes after you have those conversations, at least you know you've had them.
Well,
You can't walk in fear, right?
And you can't walk in fear, and I'm going to go right back to what Slick said. It's about timing, delivery, and what you say, and who you are that's saying it. And you put all those things into perspective, and I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of the at the Farrow Law Firm. We're going to try to. I'm dying to have this conversation with him because him and I, we sort of understand what the battle is, and we've been pushing and hitting the right note. Remember I told you life is about hitting that right note? And they're there. They're right at the door.
They're right there.
And we got to go right through that.
Let's take a commercial break. We're going to switch over to our 1 o'clock hour. We have Robert Weinroth, Palm Beach County Commissioner and County Vice Mayor, joining us on our VMix call for today for a virtual interview. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Pizza District is the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. They have amazing deals, great food, and an even better customer connection. Their owner, Nico, runs the friendliest and cleanest pizzeria for miles around. With their pizza made with whole wheat, gluten-free, cauliflower crust, and traditional New York style, you can't go wrong. Plus all the extras like salad and chicken wings. They are a family-run business with a great atmosphere. Call today to order your pizza and tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you at 561-961-4163. That's 561-961-4163 for Pizza District, the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
The way you live your life says a lot about you. The way you choose to commemorate your lifetime can say even more. It's a single event that speaks volumes. So how do you celebrate a life? Dignity Memorial Providers believe that your memorial service should be as unique as you are, reflecting your personality and your passions. It should be a perfectly tailored send-off, a fitting tribute for family and friends to celebrate the person they love. We're professionals at catering to your every need, right down to the catering. In fact, no detail is too small. So when it comes time for a fitting tribute, we'll see that your final wishes are beautifully fulfilled. It's what Dignity Memorial Providers are known for. And why you should rely on us to see that your life is well celebrated. The celebration of a lifetime begins here.
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Ooh, and we're
You
back.
forgot your mask was on.
I forgot I had it on.
And we're back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show on a rainy Thursday, but I love our platform that we're able to bring people in virtually and share what we have to share. We had Jay Farrow and Janine Davis, the hosts of the Momentum Mindset Show that airs Fridays at 6 p.m., talking about mindset, but then we talk legal. They went legal for the past month of the Farrow Law Firm. Give them a call, contact them, farrowlawfirm.com for any legal needs. They're always out there fighting for the good guy and really trying to put that bullying in the most simplistic words to the side and help everyone have their voice.
And they also are running into resistance on that. It's like everything else, it has to change, right?
Yeah, the legal system, everything's changing. And on our VMix call, I'm excited to have, we have Robert Weinroth, our Palm Beach County Commissioner of District 4 and our County Vice Mayor. So last hour we were bringing everyone in with our email, so let's see if we've got Mr. Weinroth joining us.
Is he on?
You guys, we have him?
Yeah, come.
He's coming, there he is. How are you doing,
There
Bob?
we go. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Sure. As you said, it's a rainy day, but it's beautiful here in my office.
There is so much to talk to you about, and I thank you and Pam for putting this together and joining us on the show, because we, of course, are right here in Boca Raton. And when we first started talking about you coming in, it was about the opening of Boca Raton, and now everything's coming to a whole new level. But let's go back a week to when Boca was first starting to open it, and what are the processes and the stages of what we're doing here?
Well, as you know, since March, we've been working on trying to reopen. We've been able to flatten the curve. We've been able to reduce the number of people that had to go to the hospital to be cared for, going to ICUs. We are now at a stage where we've been reopening businesses. We've been reopening recreational areas, and the governor announced this week that we're moving the state to phase 2, and our county, Palm Beach County, Miami-Dade, and Broward are going to be taking a little longer to get there because our numbers have been a little higher than the rest of the state.
And what is that stage 2 looking like?
Well, phase 2 is going to be opening up opening up the bars again, the parlors, the masseuses, and a few more of the high content areas where we've been trying to keep people away. And so, it's going to also open up the restaurants a little bit more, allow more patronage. But through all this, we're impressing upon all of our stakeholders the necessity to continue social distancing and, where appropriate, to put on face masks.
In Boca Raton, is it mandated because we're part of Palm Beach County for a mask, or is it highly suggested?
It is suggested. There are no places right now, as far as the county is concerned, where it's required to wear a mask except on Palm Tran. So Palm Tran is still running without fares, and we're asking the riders to wear face masks because we're really distancing in the buses. But again, it's a small contained area, and we'd like to keep people as healthy as possible.
And how are we seeing the numbers? Are we seeing a decrease because we are in that Tri-County area?
Well, there are several metrics that we're looking at, and one of those that the Sun Sentinel was reporting this week, which showed a spike, was in the number of new positive cases. But what's happening is we are opening more and more testing facilities, so more and more people are coming to us and getting tested. In fact, last weekend, I was over at the Home Depot where we opened up a testing facility on 441 in Glades where you can go up and get tested. So as we make testing more available and you don't have to be symptomatic, more people are being tested, and even if they're asymptomatic, they're finding out that they did have the virus. But the more important metric to us is the percentage of positives to the number of people that are actually testing. And right now, we have set 10% as the absolute minimum that we want to see before we start worrying about whether we're opening too fast. And as of this morning, we are at 8.1%. So we're certainly well within the range that we want to be. And the more important metric is the number of people that are having to go to the hospital because they are having issues that are life-threatening, people that have to go to the ICU, or people that need to be put on respirators. And finally, of course, the mortality. And each of those metrics has been going down consistently since March.
That's all
Now,
good
I
news.
had seen on the news that phase 2 was going to start taking place except South Florida. So phase
Yes.
2 is not going to be, it's not on the market yet. And I guess that's the numbers that you're talking about. Do you have any idea of when phase 2 will occur in South Florida?
Well, as a matter of fact, this morning I sent a request to our county mayor, Dave Kerner, and I asked that we have an emergency or a special meeting on Tuesday to address that. And I'm hoping that by Tuesday, we're going to have more numbers as far as the number of new cases that have arisen. And one of the concerns we've had is with all of the civil unrest that's been going on over the last week or so, that because people have been coming out demonstrating their support for changes in light of the George Floyd murder, that we want to make sure that people aren't putting themselves in harm's way and having a new surge of the disease. So by Tuesday, we should be in a good position to be able to, whether in position to ask the governor to allow us to take the next step to phase 2.
Interesting. It's everything that we talked about is people now exposing themselves in different ways. And it's not as if we opened up the protests, right? This is what people did. It's not like the beaches and that we had to open those, or the parks, or the recreation facilities. People are doing this.
Well, there's other, I mean, there are other things without asking questions that obviously you don't have an answer to, but I'm going to ask them anyway because people are writing in. Schools, colleges, kids, people not going to be able to go back to work because what do we do with the kids and things of that nature? Daycare, summer daycare centers, things of that nature. Is there a plan in place, an idea, a philosophy of where we're going to go in that direction?
Absolutely. And I want to impress upon you that there are different decision makers for different decisions. And whereas, the White House has made certain decisions, they've relegated some of those decisions to the governors of the 50 states, have put some of those decisions on the shoulders of the county commissioners. That we have 67 county commissions here in Florida. So each one of us have been working, independently because our constituencies are different. The Panhandle is different than what's going on down here in South Florida. And then, of course, there's the school district. So the school board has announced that they're putting a poll out to the parents to try and get their input. And at their next school board meeting, they're going to make a decision what the school year is going to look like next year, or in August, actually. And, if I was a betting man, I would say that it would probably be some sort of a hybrid of having some students in the classrooms and doing distance learning so that they can utilize their facilities more efficiently. Because again, social distancing is going to be part of our lives, at least until a vaccine is available. As far as the summer programs, the school board is poised to approve the use of their facilities this summer for summer programs. And if the school board does approve it, and there are multiple programs that would like to initiate their programs to, again, get the kids back out into the fresh air and have organized programs for them for the rest of the summer.
Which is really great news. And today happens to be also the last day, I believe, of the tax holiday for hurricane supplies.
That's correct. Today is the end. So anybody who has not gone out to Home Depot or any of the other stores, they should, make it a point to get out today. We've been in the middle of an emergency order now since beginning of March, and it's hard to believe that we're in hurricane season, but we've already had 3 named storms. So even those have just been tropical storms, and the current tropical storm in the Gulf looks like it's just going to go straight to the Midwest and not bother us. We need to be aware that if we do get a hurricane, it's going to be a different response this year because of the social isolation. And in fact, Jared Moskowitz, who is the director of emergency services, is saying that this year, people who are in a building, that's modern, that can stand up to the wind, are going to be encouraged to basically stay in place, not go to a shelter, because we're not looking to have people infected by the virus. So be a little bit of a different perspective on how to react to the hurricane. But certainly people understand that those supplies that are necessary, 9-volt batteries and water and supply that can get you through a few days, are necessary to have, because South Florida is known for hurricanes.
Interesting. So instead of the mandatory evacuation, some people are going to be asked to stay.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to
Well,
look
there
at.
may be mandatory. There may be mandatory evacuations. We have places within our county, mostly around the dike at the lake, where we have had concerns in the past. So there may be mandatory evacuation.
And let me ask you about. I'm sorry. I also want to ask you about the grant that just came out on Monday, the Small Business Recovery Grant in Boca Raton.
Well, we've had a grant in the Palm Beach County that has been a little bit larger. Let me tell you about that one, because that one's still open. If you have a business either one employee to 25 or 25 or more, the county has a grant program that could offer you up to $25,000. And that grant program is still open. We're going to be taking applications until the 12th of this month, so you have a few more days. And if you receive PPP money from the federal government, that's going to be offset against it. So if you receive over $25,000, you're not going to qualify for this grant program. But it's a grant, it's not a loan, and companies that, profit companies, not nonprofits, that have a need for money should apply to the county. Now, in addition to that, as you pointed out, both the city of Boca Raton and the city of Delray have smaller programs that they are making available, and you need to go to each of their websites if your business is either in Delray or in Boca Raton to see how you could qualify.
Robert, I want to thank you because, a lot of people say, what is the plan? Who has a plan? Who has an idea? Where are we going? And a lot of people think that it's, what do we do next? And there are plans in place. And I'm getting tons of people writing in here. There are plans in place. And, we appreciate you coming on here and sharing some of this stuff, because there are parents, there are moms, there's single dads. Everybody wondering what's going to be the next move. And here comes the hurricanes on top of everything else we're going through right now. So I want to thank you for coming on and sharing some of these ideas and philosophy. Maybe we can have some of the different people that run the different heads come in, because it's going to get rough this year. I'm going to tell you something. Get out to the store and get your stuff and get ahead of this thing.
But people are still looking for monies, and I want to just double back to the grants from Palm Beach County, because I know it's different than the Boca. I think the initial response was to help small businesses and people that might be the solopreneurs or the one employee where you can count yourself. In the uploading of the documents, though, you have to have that payroll tax document to put that in there. Is this correct?
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, you have to have your business certificate for both the city, if you're in a municipal limits like in Delray or Boca, and then you have to have your tax certificate for the county, and there are documents you have to upload for your taxes to demonstrate what your payroll has been and what your expenses have been. But it's a very simple process, and our staff will work with you as you open up the application if you need to supply additional information.
Fantastic. And then, Freddie, I've got some really big news I wanted to let Bob share with us. On June 21st, and your website and all of your information on social media is a plethora of information. So if you want to know what's going on in our community, just find him on Facebook, because everything is there. Make Music Palm Beach County. Can you share some of this information? Because, Freddie, you're going to love this.
Well, the Nat King Cole Foundation, which has been part of our community for years, has this every year puts together this Make Music. And we promoted this with a proclamation this week. And, go onto my Facebook page and you'll see that Shanna St. John, who is the executive director of that foundation, explains how you can participate in this worldwide event.
It's a spectacular event where everyone participates in making music, producing music, sharing concerts virtually.
Very
And it
cool.
happens to be on June 21st, which is our 4-year anniversary. So I'm kind of thinking, Bob, that somehow our studio and all of what we are able to do on the platform virtually, I want to get involved and see how we can help share this to a bigger venue.
Well, we could put it on our virtual platform.
So I was really excited when I saw that.
Interesting. I can see where you're going with that. I
Right?
like that.
But there's so much information. I have to tell you, people can say what they want to say about government and where they live, but if you actually look at what our community is creating and the information that is there, they're supporting so many of our small businesses, families, children, the arts. Everything is here.
Well, it's really impressive the way that people have come together during this pandemic. People unfortunately have lost, they've been furloughed, and people have come together to help. People are gathering together, getting food, and making sure that no one's going hungry. And it's going to take a village. I mean, we are at a point now where there are going to be a lot of people that are going to have to look for new jobs because their former position has been eliminated. And again, the COVID-19 has changed the what's going to be the new normal. But I know that our community is resilient, and we're going to come back from this even stronger.
And as we talk about, of course, everyone knows there was a peaceful protest at the Town Center Mall. What else are you hearing as far as what people should be doing, law enforcement, the underlying, I guess, pulse of our community?
Well, I've got to tell you that I've been very impressed with the people who've come out in their demonstrations because they've been peaceful. People are really concerned with the underlying conditions that, the George Floyd murder really just brought to the forefront the issues that have been with us for a long time. And I think we're talking about these issues, and I think we have to really congratulate law enforcement because they have not only just stood back and been ensuring that things are done peacefully, but they've joined with the demonstrators, they've embraced them. In many cases, I've heard they bring food and water out to the demonstrators, and they want to make sure that they understand that they are members of the community, and this is important to them as it is to the people who've come out to demonstrate their support.
It has been very peaceful. And of course, we can't let you go, Bob, without asking the elections coming forward. I got something in the mail that said I can send in for my mail-in ballot. What are we looking at as far as Election Day?
Yeah, well, we have two elections coming up. First, of course, is the primary on August 18th. And like you said, if people are concerned about going to the polls on the 18th, they should give real consideration to voting by mail. And it's very simple. All you have to do is go online and go to pdelections.org, and you can order your vote by mail ballot. There's no cost, and in fact, the county pays the postage to get the ballot back to us. And you'll get your ballot about 3 weeks before August 18th. You can vote it, send it back in, and there's a wives' tale that those aren't counted unless it's a close election, and that's not true. They actually count those first. So if you vote by mail, that will be counted, and you can sit at home on the 18th to find out which candidates are going to make it to the general election on November 3rd.
That is good to know. I saw that they're counted first, right? Because the rumor mill is they're only counted if it's close and if they get them and if it's found and all, but you're telling us totally different. So it makes people have more confidence to say, you know what, let me stay safe. Let me do it this way. And it's for our poll workers also, if we can alleviate anyone's exposure.
Exactly. And the fact is that you can go online to make sure that your ballot has been received. So it's not like you're just dropping it in the mail and wondering. So it's really a very safe way to vote. It's an efficient way to vote, and our supervisor of elections, Wendy Link, has been encouraging people to go ahead, go online, request the vote by mail ballot, and it is the safest, most efficient way to vote.
And is there a way to find our testing sites? I know there are CVS and some Home Depots. Is there a website that people can go to find one?
If you go on to my website, which is Palm Beach County, let me go at www.pbcgov.org, and then you go to District 4, you can get all of that information. I'll tell you right now that there's one at FAU, right by the Tech Runway. There's one over at the South County Civic Center over on Jog. There's one a little further north at the Fit Team Center, the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. There's one over by 441 and Glades at the Home Depot. That one you don't even have to make an appointment for. You can just drive up and they'll give you your test right then and there. And like you said, some of our CVSs are doing the test. And if you go onto the CVS website, they'll tell you which locations in our area are giving the test. So there are ample opportunities to take the test, but it's important to remember that's a point-in-time test. So if you take the test on Monday and are infected on Thursday, that's not going to help you. So I encourage my friends and my relatives and anybody who'll listen to remain socially distant. I see you guys are about 6 feet apart. You and I are 6 feet apart.
There you go.
And just, stay safe. And don't, when you go out and you've been touching common surfaces, wash your hands when you come in, because it's difficult to get the virus from touching things, but why take a chance? And I know we're all going to get through this safely. And certainly once the vaccine is here, we'll be able to resume our lives, go back to the galas, go back to hugging each other, and really, go back to the way things were before the virus arrived.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining us, right? So much information.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly what we needed. Good shot in the arm.
I appreciate all your information, for you taking the time. Pam, thank you for texting me during the show. We got the email out to you. Robert Weinroth, Palm Beach County Commission and County Vice Mayor, thank you so much. Please let us know if we can help spread any more information.
Very good. Thanks so
Stay
much.
safe
You
for
have a
both of
great
you.
day.
Thanks, you too. Ready to go to commercial break?
Let's do that.
All right, stay tuned. We're going to be right back.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com.
His abilities as a dry cleaner are so undeniable, Dry Clean Only tags have his phone number printed on the back. Stubborn stains sometimes call him late at night just to apologize. His pickup and delivery service is so fast, his vans have pit crews. He is the most interesting dry cleaner in the world.
You don't always dry clean, but when you do, use A&T Dry Cleaners. Stay dirty, my friends.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Callaway here from the VoiceOver Connection, and I'm here to tell you that you're missing out. Everybody has a dream, something that they believe can change their life or even change the world. The difference between letting that dream slip and making it come true all depends on whether or not you can make the world believe your dream too. Here at the VoiceOver Connection, we specialize in selling dreams. Our team of well-connected and influential voices will help take your ambitions, your deepest and wildest aspirations, to places that you never imagined you could reach. The time for dreaming is over. You've done enough of that already. It's time to take action. Elevate your business by giving your dream a voice. Contact us at 866-224-5444 888-267-5422 or email us at thebrooklynCafeTV@gmail.com. Because a dream is only a dream until you decide to make it real.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. That
And
was
we
really nice.
and we're back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. How was that segment?
That
Very
was
informative?
Interesting. I was listening intently because people were writing in to ask questions. But what you want to do is you want to be able to ask questions that make sense for the general population, because things with school and things with camps and things of that nature. There is plans in place, ideas, emergency meeting about the opening again of South Florida. All that is there. I have never been to the Facebook site that you're mentioning.
As on his Palm Beach County Commissioner, you can look him up, Robert Weinroth, and all that information is there. And I think the music piece would be something great for us to put in play.
I think it would be a whole lot of fun. I don't know how you're going to get that done, but okay.
You know, because it's all the information is there. It's called Make Music Palm Beach County, live music celebration for anyone. So all you have to do, if you want to be part of it, you can be part of it as a performer. You can be part of it as sharing it out, all kinds of things. And it's about getting that music out there. I've been trying to get in touch with the Nat King Cole Foundation for such a long time, so maybe now I'll be able to.
Well, now, not only that, but I'm pretty sure that they can introduce you to the parties that you need to talk to, and you can cut through that red tape a little quicker. But that was a great piece of information. I didn't know about some of the things that we talked about, the Nat King Cole stuff. I didn't know that there was still monies available to the 12th.
I didn't either. I had heard it was first come, first served, but apparently there's still monies
But they're taking
available.
applications, but does that mean there's monies available?
Well, that I don't know.
No, we don't know.
I don't know. And it's still the conversation we had of your payroll and your taxes and your paperwork that we all have to have in place and all of that.
Well, I wanted to ask you, one of the problems with doing all of these grants and all of these things, I didn't want to ask him because he was on a roll, but is that you don't have the paperwork to send. In other words, you get to a certain point, everybody gets to a certain point, that's it.
Right.
And so what do you do? Now, he's asking for a single business, a guy who has a single business by himself. Does he qualify for these grants?
If you have the right documents, yes.
But then you don't have a payroll paper.
Well, that's...
But you also have to have the city tax license.
Yes. You have to have your SunBiz, and you have to have your county or city tax license, which we have.
Those are two for here.
Those are two for here. Those are
But
for
there's a
Palm
lot
Beach
of
County and
businesses
Boca.
that don't have that. So you won't qualify for any grants if you don't have those two. And what people have to understand is that you're not required to have them, but if you want assistance, you have to have them.
Right.
So don't get upset with the system if they ask you for A and you don't have it, and you've never had it.
Right.
It's a big to-do. I remember when you and I went, you got socked with a big bill because there was a form.
Because I've had a
going
business in Boca
backwards.
Raton not realizing it was considered a business for tax purposes. And, but yeah, any business that you have incorporated within a city, and this is where your mailing address is, they expect you to pay your taxes on it. So I
If you're
had
making
to
money,
pay
you
them,
should be
right?
paying money.
Well,
Well,
absolutely.
I get that completely. So you got to have everything in place in order to accomplish the goal, but it does work, and you will get whatever it is that you fall into, whatever category. But you got to have, you got to be well ready to go and get it done.
Ever have one of those rock'em sock'em days?
Yeah.
And you rock
like
it and
today.
sock and you go boom, and you got it. And then you go boom, and then it's like boom, and like, seriously?
Well, you know, it's funny. Sometimes you meet somebody, something is said to you, and then it's done. It's something that comes back. It could be years later, and all of a sudden, what he said or she said isn't what they meant. And, you know, thank you very much, and here's the bill. And it's just really, really.
It kind of leaves you
really weird.
speechless, right?
I'm numb. Some of the
I
things
heard a
I'm-
sigh coming from over that chair,
like,
and I thought, what is that going on over there?
Unbelievable.
But yes, this stage is about, 7 feet, I think. It looks different on camera, but it's quite a lot of space here.
Yes. Hey, fellas.
How's that conversation going back there, guys?
Yeah, hold on now, we're on the
I
air.
feel like I'm in school. How's that conversation going, kids?
Well, I hear them a lot louder than I hear you.
I know.
But it's funny because sometimes, and like they were saying, Janine was saying, you got people who want to be fair and a system that needs repair. And a lot of people don't want to. I wanted to ask them, I didn't get a chance. When you have a crime, you need due process. And it's been 3 or 4 months where you can't have due process because you can't put together a jury. So how is that being handled? Does that mean you go home or you stay in jail? I mean, what is the due process there? Also, that's a business like this is a business. If you watch the newscasters that are still home and doing the business from home, like I watch the 7 o'clock news on CBS, the 3 of them are in separate places, and there's a lag. Yes, there is a lag in their studios, and you can see it's 2 seconds, sometimes even 3. There's no chemistry. It breaks up the flow. So if you're an attorney and you need to pick a jury, there's a lot of body English that goes on from the juror, from the attorneys. If you ever seen Bull is watching everything.
It's a great show, yeah.
And they got some kind of machine that tells you, how you feeling? Are you red zone or green zone? I would love to know what that is. So how do you get that under these circumstances now? How does that happen?
It's a whole, I don't know, and it's a whole nother conversation to be had as things are opening and changing. And I don't think people could have written this book if they tried. This is a book of the ages, this 2020 that we're going into, and there's no right or wrong, but I think, and I'm hoping that the panic and the fear is subsiding a little bit, but yet when you hear something again, you get that sinking, oh, here we go again.
But it shouldn't be panic, because panic isn't going to work. You should be concerned. You should have your head on a swivel, like they do in football, because you never know what else is going to come at. I mean, listen, the bottom line is we got some bad weather this weekend.
Yeah.
We've been having bad weather all week. It's been raining cats and dogs. And then there's the warning. The rains are coming. The winds that you see about in Pennsylvania, 80-mile-an-hour winds.
Wow.
And there's a name. It starts with the letter D. But I don't remember it.
That's what
but
it's
called?
called?
It's something called Dimitri, I think it's called. And that means that a windstorm appears out of nowhere. It usually happens in the desert. And it doesn't happen in the cities because the buildings block the wind and shift it around. And 3 people died.
Wow.
Trees fell on them. I'm talking about biblical wind. Came up and whoop, and knocked the tree down a couple. A roof came off a building and destroyed 10 cars in a parking lot. Nobody died on that one. But 3 trees dropped on 3 people and killed them. Wind. Are you ready? You had those trees pruned. Are you ready? Your garbage. You got to decide what to do with the garbage. Is your building, now you've been home, right? Slick was saying everybody's home. He works for Home Depot, buying stuff to fix things around the house.
Slick, are people buying hurricane windows? I know you're windows and doors. Let's turn Slick on, guys.
A3.
A3.
But they are buying what is it? I did saw a lot of those manual shutters yesterday, and people are trying to get quoted out for shutters.
Now the shutters, you mean the accordions that go across?
The accordions that go across, but we sell the ones that you have to actually place on the track.
Oh, you have them?
The metal ones, those aluminum ones.
The ones that you have to take down, find a place
Take down one by one. Section.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, don't you have them? And you number them, you spray paint them, and you number 1, 2, 3, so you know where they go. I don't understand panels, because then I gotta find a place to put them.
Yep.
And you can't put them outside.
You can't, no.
Because they're gonna disintegrate, right?
Yeah, you have to
Are
find
these panels made of metal or they're made of wood?
I think they're aluminum.
All right, so you're gonna take a tin can.
Yeah.
You're gonna put it outside. It's gonna turn into a rusty tin can.
They don't rust though.
Yeah.
Okay, but they get stuff in them.
They get dirty.
Dirty, they get filthy.
So I'm wondering if now's a good time to put in hurricane windows, if there's a discount.
Is there any discounts for Home Depot hurricane windows?
I think they're doing something with taking off the tax, but I haven't heard any big discounts.
Taking off the tax. I spent $25,000 and you're gonna take off maybe $1,000?
Hey, I am not the deciding factor of this. You gotta go higher up than Slick.
It's about timing and delivery.
Correct.
But tax day runs through today where you pay no tax on hurricane supplies.
And it's a shame because a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, did not take advantage of it. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're
Number
probably
one,
right.
kids aren't going to school, and you had to take care of that. Then you got the situation, yada, yada, yada. And the tax thing can be a big difference. You can get a few extra items because of it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't take advantage.
And people are looking for summer camps, and I think some camps are opening, and Mr. Weinroth told us there are some camps that are opening up, that the facilities are being able to be used for kids for summer camp. And I'm sure social distancing will have to be taken into account, however they're going to do that. I think everyone that comes in here is going to have to wear a mask. Not
Yeah.
I think we talked about that,
Yes, we had some people that came in here, we gave them masks.
but we don't have extra masks. So
Well,
at
that's
some
gonna
point,
be-
we have to decide, do we just send them on their way?
Well, you may have to close the set and everything else. I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know the answer to all that because we've always never closed our doors. Have never in the history of the Brooklyn Cafe have we ever said, you know, you gotta go home. But we've never been through this either.
Exactly. So
Maybe
it's
some things to
totally
talk about.
different now. Things are different and people are at work. And our 1:30 guest who was coming, she is a social worker and she works with a different group. She works with Forward Thinking and she is at the office on her day off working with the patient. And you know what? She's still there, so she's not able to make it in, but she's starting a show with us next week. What's it called? Atrévete?
Atrévete.
Atrévete.
Spanish, I dare you to get better.
So this is what it is, and people need help, and mental health awareness, and apparently June is LGBTQ Pride Month. We haven't even talked about that. There's
I
so
didn't
many
even know
things, Teddy told me, so many things that are the norm of what life is, about going forward and being kind and humane to each other, and we're so wrapped up in COVID and protesting, not us, but everyone, protesting more COVID, a tropical storm, kids in school, taxes, money. I mean, come on, this is just unbelievable, right?
Well, there's a lot of things being thrown at all of us at one time. And you know something, I saw that the NBA and the sports figures are talking about opening up and getting things underway. I really have to ask myself, how in the world are you going to get this thing done? I guess no crowds, no spectators. I don't know.
I don't know, but I see sports right now are old games.
Yeah.
So Chuck, last night he's watching a game and it's almost midnight and he goes, "Come on, LeBron." I said, "Excuse me, but don't you know the outcome to this game?"
Yes.
And he says, "Yes." I said, "And you're cheering him on, why?"
Because he's psychologically crazy.
I said, "Is this even a normal conversation?" He looked at me. I said, "You've seen this, right?" "Mm-hmm." "You know the outcome?" "Mm-hmm." "And you're talking to the TV now, why?" I went to sleep at that point because it made no sense to me. It wasn't even what's going to happen when you know, which is one of the reasons I'm so excited for our Tonight Show, the 2-minute warning.
Well, you got to understand that people want outcome. They want sports.
They want
And they don't
sports.
care if they know the outcome. I got to tell you, I saw the Buffalo Bills. They did a 30-30 report.
Yeah.
A machine gun Jim Kelly. And I watched it for an hour. I did not understand everything that poor man has gone through.
Really?
Defeating cancer, losing his child, losing the only quarterback to lose 4 Super Bowls. And they lost the first one because the guy missed a kick against the Giants. How do you like to be that guy?
Wow.
And when they went back to Buffalo, they had 100,000 people there, and he had to go to that podium and say, "I'm sorry." And they said, "We love you. We don't say sorry." The following year, he kicked and got them into the playoffs. So I'm just talking about sometimes you learn a lot even though you watch certain things. I could tell you some baseball stories. The Angels, there was a gentleman that threw a ball, a grand slam was hit. They lost the bid or they lost the World Series or whatever. Gentleman ended up killing himself. It's a picture for the Los Angeles Angels at the time.
Wow.
Goes to show you just how serious people take their sports.
Yeah, I was a little shocked last night. But anyway, the show must go on. Slick, what did you talk about today on Slick Speaks?
Yeah, I saw that you had a gentleman you were interviewing there.
Oh, I was talking to my brother. It was supposed to be.
Oh, that was your brother?
Yeah, it was supposed to be aired Tuesday, but basically we were talking about how COVID is messing around with UPS packaging, and he gave his insight on COVID and an uplifting note. So stay tuned or rewatch Slick Speaks. He did give like uplifting notes and just a positive state of mind, because he's a very anti-social person. So he tends to, he's kind of happy of this whole situation because he always gave people 3 feet. So the fact that he gives 6 feet now, he's pretty like ecstatic. But he does tell people like, we have to get back to normal. Clearly this was a pause, and like, I understand that you don't want to be by your family, and I understand that you're agitated, but please take that time to think. So tune into Slick Speaks Facebook page and Instagram, because it's up and posted.
It's on the air, though.
And 2020, yeah, and it's
So
on
let
2020.
me ask you, how is that?
Oh, they went live.
They went live.
Okay.
Yeah, it went out
You
live,
said
yeah.
it was going to be Tuesday, but I guess it got
No.
juicy and they made it live.
Okay.
It went out live today, yeah.
Is he your older brother or your younger brother?
Oldest brother,
Oldest brother.
yes,
And he works for UPS.
correct.
And I get a lot of messages from another company that says delivery services have been interrupted because of what's going on in the streets. They can't get the trucks still.
Yeah.
He works and makes UPS deliveries in Del Rey or Boca. He doesn't even know. Do you know his first name?
Margate, the Margate area
Margate,
to
okay.
Boca, yeah.
Yeah, Margate.
Mhm.
And how long has he been doing it?
He's been doing it, I would say 11 plus years.
Oh, he's been doing it for a
Yeah,
while.
he's a vet.
I worked for UPS when I was at NYU.
You have an answer here to your question, though. Donnie Moore of the Angels. He gave up the home run to Dave Henderson when the Red Sox beat the Angels in 1986.
The Red Sox beat the Angels. That must have been a playoff game.
1986. So there's your answer.
So it was Moore? Yes, it was Moore.
Donnie Moore.
Donnie Moore. And he ended up shooting himself in the head and he killed himself, committing suicide because he got depressed on that. Who wrote that in?
That comes to us from Gubba Rum.
Ah, Steve, thank you very much. But I knew it was there. And the story you're telling me about Chuck and being into sports, it just triggers all of these different things that I grew up seeing and watching because I was a coach. I grew up to be a coach, and I noticed all of these, how people get affected on this stuff. So psychologically, there's a lot of change.
There's a lot of change
You're
going
going to
on.
see a lot of change in the next 20 years of everybody that's being affected.
20 years, how about now? And we should actually announce that the new name for our bar here. Can I announce it? Since we have got Gubba Rum watching.
I don't know, what is the name of the new bar?
Cafe Boozy.
I got Hector working.
We got
on
Cafe
tomatoes.
Brewy in the morning and Cafe Boozy in the afternoon.
Cafe Boozy. We're gonna actually have a stand with the bars. We got some surprises, some surprise meetings coming tomorrow.
Yep.
It's gonna be bigger than life from what Teddy's telling us and doing her thing. And everybody's gonna be included on this stuff as well. It's an exciting time on this neck of the
And
woods.
part of Cafe Boozy is we've got Mia's Mixology, we've got Drinks with Dina, and we have our celebrity mixologist coming in tomorrow. We've got Amy Minty joining us
Now that you don't want to miss.
for Strip or Gamble, where she's going to be making her favorite rum runner, I believe, with Gubba Rum. Actually, we need to get more of that coconut rum. So, need to go to our local liquor store. I think all I have left is one bottle of the vanilla. I know, the coconut went
She'll
fast.
have to make it on the vanilla.
The coconut went fast. I think we've got a half a bottle left of the vanilla. So, I'm telling you, Mr. Gubba, Steve Gubb, it is wicked smooth because we've gone through a case.
Well, the funny thing is that a lot of people like it. Now we just got to get our ducks in the row to get it done and get it ordered and everything else. But it's an interesting aspect when you deliver Gubba and you deliver rum strategically. You're not saying, get drunk and have a straw and have a party. It's just something to sort of relax. Because
Actually, that's a
it's
good
tough.
idea. We should do branding of a Gubba straw.
A Gubba straw.
A Gubba straw. Comes with every bag. What do you think, Slick? I don't know who's over there, but a
That's
Gubba
nice.
straw.
That's nice. A Gubba straw.
A Gubba straw.
Right?
Metal straw, because we can't do plastic. Metal,
paper kinda gets
metal or
wilty.
paper.
Well, you know what I'm going to
Or
do?
bamboo, actually.
A bamboo straw, yes.
Ooh,
What
yeah.
and they don't have to be big. I want Teddy. Teddy had the
mask.
young lady with the mask. And what happened?
I don't know.
I got to get that mask back because you put the straw through the mask and it has a little filter hole.
I think Teddy has it, yes.
And I think that we should have the Gubba mask. Can you imagine? Teddy, where is the mask, Teddy? What you do with the mask?
The mask with the straw.
The straw.
Teddy has more masks. She's got it's become an accessory. She's got the mask that breathes. She's got the mask with the straw. She's got the mask with the filter. She's well
got a
prepared.
mask that breathes?
You know, it's got like the Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah.
That one? Yeah. Some nice
I think
masks.
she invested a fortune in masks. She has a different mask. She has one that lights up. You seen the one that lights up? It says, eat at Joe's.
I actually saw there's a new mask store that has opened up in Fort Lauderdale because people are buying masks online and they're not getting what they think they're getting. So now you're able to go into a store and actually see them, see the filters, and not just keep buying things online, which makes a whole lot of sense if you want to make sure they're breathable.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I came up with a mask, but I don't want to give it away because somebody's going to make it.
Probably so.
Mask for newborns.
I'm sure they're probably out there.
They're about this big. No, it's this small. They're small, very small. They fit right here. And it's more of a precautionary as opposed to anything else. But
Sure. You know what's another interesting topic we should talk about? And you're not going to want to talk about that. Breastfeeding.
Yeah, hello.
Because if you're talking about newborns and keeping immunity up, that's one of the best ways they say to keep the baby's immunity
you have
up.
to put filters on
No, I don't think
the
so.
apparatuses.
No
Yeah.
filters on the apparatuses.
Yeah, you do. You have to put filters.
Of what?
Of the breastises.
Oh, he's
Filter
ever
it
so
out.
fun.
Oh, she says, I didn't want to talk about it. I'm all in.
You are ever so fun. But
I was going to ask you, now that you brought that up.
No. No, you can ask me.
If a mom wants to feed her child in public, is it okay to breastfeed?
I think it depends on where it is. And
In public?
Well, public with nothing wrapped up, or public with a sheet, or public just open and exposed.
Okay, let's take it in different layers. Suppose there's nothing, it's just her and the breasts and the baby. Is that a problem?
No problem for me.
So would you be like, holy smokes, what are you doing?
I think I would give them their privacy.
If you're in a public street and I'm walking by and I see it happen, and this happened in New York City, by the way.
Of course
True
it did.
story.
I'm sure it happens everywhere.
You can go topless in New York. There is no law against it. They passed it about 7 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So if a woman is giving milk to her child, you want her to put a towel over it or not? Question of the day.
Question of the day. Stay tuned tomorrow. Let us have your opinions.
Give us a call and let us know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but
No.
I think it would be, you know, again, Slick, I go back to what you told me. Timing is everything.
Timing is everything.
How does it feel today?
And we're off. Have a great day, everyone. Tune in tonight at 7 o'clock for Peace, Love, Marnie. True to Myself with Marnie Goldman joining us right here in our AMP Media Production Studio at 7 o'clock. She has a great guest who's been on the music scene for many, many years. He'll be in studio with her.
Let me ask you a question. We have Kendra coming tomorrow, yes?
Kendra Eric will be here tomorrow on Teddy Unscripted.
Yes, and Kendra Erica will be on Teddy Unscripted, but we want Kendra to come because we are going to be doing
I want to talk to
tour.
Kendra about this, Make Music Palm Beach County.
Yeah, we're going to put Kendra on and she's going to perform some music and we're talking about sending it out and everything else.
And tonight at 7:30, we've got the 2-minute warning with Benny Blades. So we'll be talking about that and what's going on because, of course, very, very timely in the whole football, sports, plus what's going on in Fort Lauderdale and every which way in the country. We'll be talking to Benny about that.
Who's Benny's guest? Do you
He's
remember
got
the
her
name?
father and son
It's a
from
father and son.
Pahokee, I think they are. So they've driven in a long way.
This is an interesting deal happening tomorrow.
Today,
Interesting.
that's
I mean,
today. So a lot of things going on, and Teddy Unscripted tomorrow with Kendra. And as we close our show, be sure to stay tuned for our credits because music provided by Kendra Erica. It's her new song, and look forward to hearing it.
That is if Valerie doesn't forget.
Have a great day, everyone. Be kind to each other. Be safe. Social distance. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. And as always,
don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. Well, see you next time.